Hello everyone and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat. It is match week 4 of the UWCL and we've got a huge game in terms of qualification coming our way tonight. We see Arsenal take on Juventus once again. We saw these two sides play each other over in Italy last week and it was a really convincing victory for the Gunners, but it's a new night, it's a new game, and with a lot on the line tonight, Juventus going to try and come back swinging, but at the Emirates, Arsenal will really fancy themselves to get another 3 points and to all but confirm themselves through to the knockouts. We've already seen Bayern Munich and Vålerenga take on each other in this group. So for these two sides, it's a fight for who goes through, really. Bayern Munich look nailed on to top the group, and these two sides, realistically, it's going to be decided tonight. If Arsenal win the game, then it looks like Arsenal will be going through as well. If Juventus can get something, if they can surprise us after a really disappointing performance last week against Arsenal, then it will still be all to play for. So a lot on the line tonight, and two sides that will desperately hope that they can pick up a big 3 points. But this is an Arsenal side that have scored 12 goals in their last 3 games, kept 3 clean sheets, have already beaten Juventus once. So realistically, I think Arsenal will fancy themselves tonight to take a big win and for the first time in the last few years to reach the UWCL knockouts. That is the aim, and I think again we've spoke about it numerous times on this channel. The work that René Slagers has done to revamp this Arsenal side and to really lift the spirits, lift the performances, and each week, every game that Arsenal played, the performances seem to get better and better. So will we see that again tonight? They put 5 past Brighton, 4 past Juventus. They scored 3 at the weekend as well. If they keep these against Tottenham, that was a huge game. If they keep these performances going, the performances are good enough really to fire Arsenal to some really good success come the end of the season. But it all starts tonight. Got to get the 3 points on the board, and that will leave them with 2 games left to play. And you'd like to think that they'd be in a good enough position there to hold on to it. But let's have a look then at the 11 Gunners that are on the field tonight looking to get the job done. In goal, it is Daphne van Domselaar, as we'd expected, with Zinsberger feature a couple times under Slagers, but van Domselaar is always going to be the nailed-on option. It is then the favoured back 4 of McCabe, Catley, Williamson and Fox. It's the same back 4 that we've seen play the majority of the games under René Slagers, and it's the same back 4 that have looked really solid and have barely conceded a goal. It is then the pivot of Leah Valti and Kim Little, and Kim Little is a player that I'm very interested to watch tonight. I think she was my player of the match last week in this game, and it was a much better performance from Little last Wednesday, so hopefully she can keep that standard up and deliver another really good performance. Across the 3 then, it is Caitlin Ford on the left-hand side, Mariona Calente on the right-hand side, and Frida Marnham in the attacking midfield role. Once again, Frida Marnham having a phenomenal game against Tottenham on Saturday, and then leading the line is Alessia Russo, a striker who as well has been involved in the goals in the last few weeks. So a really strong Arsenal side. It's the same side that we've got very familiar to seeing, that has delivered some really outstanding performances, and they'll be hoping that they can deliver another really good performance tonight. Before we get into the Juventus team, then more music. Welcome to the stream. Says, hi there lads, I am plural. Manchester City really struggled in that game. As a Dosel fan, I hope Arsenal can put on a better showing. Yeah, City have had an interesting time of the UWCL. Obviously, they beat Barcelona in match week 1, and that looked absolutely brilliant. But I think they've struggled against Bolton. They struggled against Hammarby in both games. So yeah, Man City have made hard work of it. Arsenal, after the Bayern Munich loss, we thought it was going to get very difficult, but then they managed to beat Vålerenga in comfortable fashion. They absolutely battered Juventus last week, and they go in tonight looking to put in another performance. And as you say, you're hoping that Arsenal can put on a good show. And I think you're right, from a WSL point of view, it would be really good to see the English sides do well, but they're going to come up against the Juventus side, who are going to want to bounce back after what was a really poor performance last weekend. It is going to be Pero Magnin in net as expected. It is the same back 3 of Lenzini, Caligaris and Cascarino. Right wing back, Bergamaschi keeps her place. At left wing back, Kroonbeagle comes in from the game last week. The pivot does have a change. Schatzer holds her place, but Hannah Benningson comes in to replace, not to replace Caruso, sorry, but to play deeper. Caruso will then start higher up in more of attacking midfield role, and then it is a front two of Cantore and Vangsgaard. So a slight change of shape for Juventus from last Wednesday. They've decided to change from the 3-4-3 to go to a 3-4-1-2. They're putting an extra player in the middle of the park, and that would be to try and combat Arsenal in terms of, because Arsenal have obviously got the three in there of Vauti, Little and Marnham, and Juventus are hoping to match them slightly, just to try and give them a bit of balance. Because I think that when we watched Juventus last week, I think that Frida Marnham was the player that wasn't getting picked up. So by putting an extra player into the middle of the park, it means that Frida Marnham, there will be a player marking Frida Marnham, and I think that can limit the impact that she has on this game. So Juventus making a shape change, and I think it is a real important change that could dictate how this game turns out, because Arsenal did run away in that game. I think it's 4-0 does flatter them a little bit as the majority of the goals came towards the end of the game, but overall, Arsenal were in control for the majority of the game. There were periods where Juventus came forward, but for the majority of the game, Arsenal looked very, very comfortable on the ball. They were forcing Juventus into positions they didn't want to be in, and they played very, very well. So Juventus, they'll be hoping that by covering off Marnham, you can kind of limit what Arsenal are trying to do. In terms of creativity, and Marnham was always the player that was ready to create something, to go and score. And if Juventus can get a player just to sit on the attacking midfielder, just to try and limit her output, that could be key tonight. Because, as I said, what Arsenal were doing was they'd get the ball out wide, they'd use Ford, or Russo about to goal, and they'd wait for the option of Marnham, because they knew that Marnham would be free, because there was no one in the middle that could pick her up. But now Juventus putting an extra player in the middle of the park should be able to cover off that threat. Adekpe, welcome to the stream, says Arsenal will win, and I'm expecting quite a few Arsenal fans to get involved tonight. But if you are a Juventus fan, if you are a neutral fan, get involved. Let me know what you think in any pre-match thoughts before we get into this game. But another big game for the Gunners. I think that they've had a really, really nice run of form. They've been absolutely brilliant, and it's about keeping momentum going, keep building on game after game after game, and if they can keep doing that, then they play Chelsea in mid-January, they play City in March. If Arsenal can keep this form going and keep building on every performance, not only will they go into those Chelsea and City games looking very, very sharp, but Renée Slagers will probably still be the manager at that point. Arsenal have been faultless under her, apart from the draw to Man United, which I think was very unlucky for Arsenal to not win that game. The Gunners have looked pretty much perfect, and that is a tough thing to do. The WSL is very, very competitive right now. Arsenal have got a really, really tough UWCL group, as they've already proven. So Slagers to be taking this Arsenal team to Juventus, to Brighton, to Tottenham, and absolutely battering them is a really, really worrying prospect for the rest of the league and for the rest of Europe, because this Arsenal side is clearly here to play some really nice football, and I think Juventus could be the victims of that once again. They will be hoping to bounce back from last week. This is the difficult part of the Champions League format in the groups, in terms of the way the fixtures are done. Obviously, having to play teams back to back is very, very difficult. It's even more difficult when you lose 5-0 in the first game. Sorry, 4-0 in the first game. And for Juventus, they've got to turn up to the Emirates tonight and try and better last week's result. And that is going to be very, very difficult to do. I would be surprised if Arsenal were to score 4 again. That was more than I was expecting. But at the end of the day, Arsenal at the Emirates in this kind of form are an incredible, incredible football team. So Juventus, if they want to concede less than 4, if they want to give Arsenal a game, they're going to have to play much, much better than they did on Wednesday. But I think the thing to remember is that, yes, it was 4-0, but Juventus, they're the Serie A Femminile leaders. They're still a top side. They've got some very, very good players. I think they've made the tactical tweak is going to benefit them. I do think Juventus will make a better game of it tonight than they did last week, and that could be difficult. We haven't. I think that'll be my one, not criticism of Arsenal, but my one point to make with Arsenal is I don't think they've really been tested in terms of. I think they've played decent sides. Yeah, we know Brighton are a decent side. We know Juventus are a decent side, but they didn't show up against Arsenal. If Brighton had played the way they did, against Man City, then I think they'd have given Arsenal a game. If Juventus had played much better, if Juventus had played the way we know they can, then they would have given Arsenal a much tougher game. And I think that'll be key tonight. If Juventus cause Arsenal problems, how will Arsenal react? If Arsenal get put under pressure early doors, will they cave in or will they remain strong and try and get on top of this game by themselves? Because I think it's important to remember that Juventus, for me, probably were the better side in the first 5-10 minutes of the game last week, and then from there Arsenal just ran riot. I don't really know what happened. Juventus just kind of got overran, and once Arsenal opened up the space, the Italians were completely torn apart. So Juventus, if they do get on top early tonight, they will be hoping to maintain that. Sonia's cat, welcome to the stream, saying London is sky blue. Well, again, that is a controversial thing to say during an Arsenal game, but I think that it right now probably is. But Arsenal, they look much better than they have recently. I think they're going to come back swinging in. I don't want to say the late part of the season because I wouldn't say that we're quite into that late part of the season. But Arsenal is a slow start. Now we've got into, let's call it the mid-stage. Now we're in the mid-stage of the season. Arsenal are coming back swinging and they're looking to land a few blows to some teams. But they keep going tonight. They will be hoping to follow on. If they can score now a few goals, keep another clean sheet, it would just add to what has been a incredible record so far since René Slager's took over. But Juventus with a point to prove. Arsenal with a huge result, hopefully on the cards. We know how this atmosphere at the Emirates can be incredible, especially on nights like this when Arsenal need a result. And I think the positivity, not only on the pitch but off the pitch, has been clear to see for everyone. But a big night for both sides. A Juventus win would throw this group wide open in terms of who's going to qualify. An Arsenal win would probably see the Gunners through unless they had any major slip-ups. But yeah, we've already got one team, in Chelsea confirmed through to the knockouts. Man City are very nearly there, and Arsenal will be hoping to join those two sides in looking pretty solid in the top two places in the group. Convenant, welcome to the stream, says get ready. I am ready, and I hope you guys are all ready too. This is going to be a really good game of football, hopefully, and one that will deliver. I mean, if it delivers 4 goals again and a really exciting game, then I think that'd be great to watch, and I think a lot of Arsenal fans would take that as well. But as I said, Juventus will not want to be drubbed once again, and they know they lose tonight, then it's going to be very difficult to try and get out of this group. So a big game tonight, 3 points. I think if we're looking at a draw, I think a draw probably favours Arsenal just because they are ahead of Juventus as it stands, and Juventus really need to start catching the points up if they want to qualify. But for Arsenal, they'll really want to win the game. And in terms of predictions, we'll get into predictions. If you are joining the stream right now, get involved in the live chat and have your say. Let me know what you think the score is going to be on this game. As for my own prediction, I'm going to go for an Arsenal win. I think it'll be a closer game than it was last week, though. I'll go 2-0 to Arsenal, and I think it'll be a goal from I'll go Russo to score in the first half, and then Caitlin Ford to score in the second half. 2-0 Arsenal, and another big 3 points, another big win in what has been a brilliant run in the last few game weeks. Yeah, get your predictions in. Gonna be a very good night. The UWCL is absolutely brilliant. I mean, we were at Chelsea Celtic yesterday. That was another brilliant game. We saw Real Madrid Twente was really competitive. Lyon blew Roma out of the water. That was really surprising. But yeah, this European competitions always deliver, and again, hopefully they will so tonight. The other game while during this one is Barcelona Polton. And I think most people would be right if they were to say that Barcelona are probably going to score a few goals in that game. But we will see. Hopefully we see goals in both games. Hopefully we see a lot of action. But yeah, already halfway through the group stage in the UWCL. Points matter now. Points really, really matter. And yeah, a loss for Juventus today would see them with a mountain to climb if they wanted to get out of the group. But it will be Arsenal and it will be Alessio Russo to get us underway in this game. Juventus will hope to start fast, will hope to try and cause some issues, but Arsenal will look to get this game over and done with as quickly as possible. Quite a big crowd at the Emirates tonight. Very cold as well. But Russo will get us underway in this huge game for Champions League to qualification for the knockout round. But yeah, sub-zero temperatures in the UK. It's going to be a very, very cold one for everyone involved tonight. But hopefully it heats up on the pitch and we see some brilliant, brilliant action. Here's Van Domselaar. And again, Arsenal are going to try to do what they've done in recent games, and that's why they've scored so many goals. That's why they've looked so solid, is because they gain control so early. Get the ball, get your foot on the ball, gain control, and then you dictate the game. You dictate how the opposition are going to play. And especially if we see some of Arsenal's best work sometimes is actually when they don't have the ball, and that can be very, very difficult, because as an opposition, you think that you having the ball is putting you in a good position, but actually, if Arsenal do what they do best, they press you higher, they win the ball back hard at the pitch, you having the ball actually causes you more problems than if you don't have it. Here's Alessio Russo. Finds Caitlin Ford. Goes back to Kim Little. Ford into McCabe. McCabe working it down this left-hand side. Goes back to Ford. Forced to kind of run back to her own goal there. It's not a brilliant to run towards her own half, sorry. Williamson manages to pick up and clear, and Arsenal will get that up the pitch. And now Caligaris is going to try and take her time on the ball for Juventus, just going to try and slow this game down. Looks for a switch of the play out to Kroonbeagle. Doesn't work. Is won back by Ford. Poked back down the line by Cascarino, but that has gone off the pitch. And Fox will have a throw. And there you go. That's exactly the problem for Juventus, is that they're shifting the ball out wide. They then tried to play out, and they've had the Arsenal force them to kick it off. That's a good throw into Russo. Holds it up to Frida Marnham. Marnham against Cascarino on this right-hand side. It's a good fight. Cascarino being very physical. Marnham manages to put it into the penalty area. Here's Russo. Back out to Fox. Fox to Vouty. McCabe wants to switch. Doesn't get it. Vouty goes short to Little. Little manages to run through two bodies, but a heavy touch, and that is dealt with by Lenzini. Only cleared as far as Vouty, but Vouty is dispossessed by Cantore, but well won back by Katie McCabe. One of the best tacklers in the big leagues. Katie McCabe, when she gets it right. Here's Williamson. Van Domselaar. Again, Juventus are happy to sit off Arsenal a little bit. Not allow Arsenal to play through them too easily. But also, if you run onto Arsenal, if you press them, they're just going to play through you, and they're going to open up so much space. Here's Fox. Fox down the line into Ford. Brilliant use for her body to send Kroonbeagle. And here comes Caitlin Ford. Looks to go inside to Russo, but cut out by Cascarino. Here is Schatzer. Goes back to Caligaris, who will again, they're just taking moments on the ball. Juventus, they're happy to invite Arsenal on, but the problem is they don't quite have that confidence that you see from the top sides. In terms of once Arsenal do kind of come at them, they play it safe, they go backwards, they're not trying anything too risky, which makes sense. We're early on, they're away at the Emirates, they're not going to take any risks. They do need the win tonight, but You've got to still remain measured. That's a lovely switch of the play from Caurente to find Emily Fox. Fox comes inside, shifts it to Vouty. Vouty across to Little. Little out wide to McCabe, and already Arsenal trying to use the width of the pitch. Ball was played inside to Marnham, flicks it to Calente, who just rushes it to McCabe, and that will be a Juventus throw on. But it's incredible how, even though Juventus do play the three at the back with the wing backs, they still tuck in. They still tuck in, which allows a lot of, especially for McCabe on the left hand side. There's a lot of space for her just to run into, and we know Kate McCabe likes to get very, very high, and it's kind of favouring her, and it's surprising to see a side that play wing backs to kind of get stretched as much as Juventus do. And they're going to have to be careful that they don't get stretched across the pitch too far, because if not, Arsenal will probably score a few goals, just like they did last week. That's a lovely ball down the line to Fox. Was she brought down? Apparently not. Ball goes in. Cleared away by Caligaris. Fox wasn't happy. When she put that ball in, she feels like she was dragged down to the ground as she was swinging it in, but nothing given. And that long ball from Kroenbeagel is cut out by Williamson. Boniface, welcome to the stream. A good just caught it 5 minutes in. You're not late. You're not fashionably late. You're still late, just on time. That's a lovely ball down the line to Calente, who is up against it. Very aggressive is Lenzini. Played well inside to Vouty. Vouty to Fox. Fox to Ford. Ford against Kroenbeagel. We've already seen her beat her a few times, and Fox looks to do that once again, but the wing back gets the better of her this time. Good defending from Kroenbeagel. Has been beaten too many times by Ford already in this game. Does well just to stand her up and just to cause her a few problems. Make Ford make the decision too many times. Kroenbeagel commits one way, and it's easy for Ford just to go the other way and to take her on. But Kroenbeagel there just stood her up, took her time, didn't dive in, and managed to see the Australian winger out of play. That ball is pumped forward, brought down by Cantore. Here is Vangsgaard. Vangsgaard doing well. He just sitting on the ball, manages to beat Emily Fox. That's really good play from the forward, but the pass looking for Caruso is not good enough, and that is easily cut out by Leah Williamson. Fox back on the ball. That was a really good piece of play from Vangsgaard, and the pass was just not good enough. Managed to use her strength to beat Ford, and then just poked it past Fox and managed to run beyond her, but the pass into Cantore was really poor. And that was a good move, but let down by the final ball. Arsenal just taking their time now to move this ball all the way back to Van Domselaar. Yeah, it's important tonight that, yes, Arsenal did win pretty comfortably last Wednesday, but they can't let that affect them. I think even though you play the same side within the space of a week, I think you still have to view it as a different game. You have to go into it like you're playing a different opposition. Yes, they'll use bits from the 4-0 win, but you can never go into a game thinking we beat them 4-0, we'll be absolutely fine, because most of the time that doesn't work in football. No room for complacency, especially when dropping 3 points tonight could be huge for whoever loses. Here is Catley. Goes to McCabe. McCabe looking for Calente. Loses the ball though. And that is Schatzer. Plays it into Vangsgaard. Goes to Cascarino. Cascarino will bring it up the pitch. Plays a lovely ball down the line to Kroenbeagel. Kroenbeagel versus Fox. This is a good move from Juventus. Kroenbeagel's got Fox backing up. Puts the ball in. Big tackle from Kim Little. It will be recycled by Bergamaschi, who manages to try and beat Calente. That's good defending from the Arsenal winger, and we'll see it out for a goal kick. Good defending from Calente, but better from Juventus. Nice play down the left-hand side of Kroenbeagel. The ball was put in, cleared by Kim Little, only as far as the wing back on the other side. But Calente did well to see out Bergamaschi there. And Arsenal will once again rebuild from their goal kick. Sharon, welcome to the stream. Says hello, greetings from Uganda. Arsenal win. Well, welcome from Uganda. and once again agreeing with the majority of people who think Arsenal will win the game tonight. 90% of the vote in the poll going to the Gunners. Says a lot. And the referee there has just tackled Alessia Russo. Bizarre. The referee tried to play on. Russo was playing with her back to goal, takes a touch inside. The referee's just stood there. And obviously Russo loses the ball, and it took a good amount of time for the referee to realise what she'd actually done. But we had the same problem last week. In this same game, the referees kept getting in the way. This is good fit, although from the Gunners. Ford once again up against Kroonbeagle. Again, good defending from the wing back, just sees her out. Here's Fox. Fox going on a lovely run, and she skips past Kroonbeagle, gets the ball in, but it will be claimed by Pero Magnin. Had flown over Alessia Russo anyway, and there was no one arriving at the back post to even have a chance of poking that home. But not a bad start from either side. Arsenal probably look the brighter team, but Juventus are doing well just to hang in there and remain competitive. 10 minutes gone though, not a bad start. Here is Schatzer. Schatzer into Cascarino. Cascarino goes down the line looking for Vangsgaard, but that has ran out of play. And once again, that is the third or fourth time that we've seen Juventus be pressed by Arsenal when they have the ball with their centre-halves, try to go long, and the pass is just wayward. Either it goes off the pitch or it falls to an Arsenal player. Once again, very effective Arsenal press, forcing the error and turning over the ball. Every time. I can't name a time that Juventus have managed to play through Arsenal. Here's Leah Williamson. Williamson goes into Ford, tries to flick it round the corner to Marnham, but it doesn't quite work out. But again, the ball thumped along by Cascarino and cut out by Williamson. Going to be here all night if I have to keep saying that. Cascarino's long balls really are not paying off. And Williamson is taking them very, very easily. That's a lovely pass inside into Valti. Russo tries to lay it off to Calente, but can't. And that's good from Caruso to skip past Valti now. Plays it into Benison. Benison will bring it forward. Looks for the ball into Cantore, headed away by Williamson. Little got it on the edge, is dispossessed by Vangsgaard. Can Cantore get on the end of it? Not quite. Hacked away by Steph Catley. Headed in the general direction of the box by Schatzer. Here is Cascarino. Cascarino fires it into Benison, and Benison doesn't stand a chance bringing that ball down. And Arsenal will win the ball back, and Caitlin Ford looks to play quickly and looks to play Russo in down the line. Here is Alessia Russo. Forced to turn back by Cascarino, then tries to beat the defender and will try and win the throw. The ball stays on, and that will be a Juventus throw. Very messy between everyone involved in that scenario, but Juventus will take the throw on. That was a good play from Arsenal. Bit unlucky that Russo didn't manage to beat Cascarino. And now a chance for Juventus to try and get out. Schatzer plays it into Caruso, who felt she was held back. Referee doesn't agree, and Arsenal will take the ball. Calente into Marnham. Marnham to Calente. Here is Fox. Fox pops up everywhere for Arsenal, whether it's defensively or attackingly. Looks to play a give and go with Marnham, intercepted by Caruso. Finds a lovely ball into Cantore, who goes back to the captain. Spins on it. Goes back to Cantore. Looks to take on Valti. Intercepted though, and it will be a Juventus throw. Arsenal enjoying 68% of the ball so far. Once again, taking control of this game, dictating how they want to play and how they want Juventus to play. And it's working so far. No goals to show for it though, but they've played well. Throw in now with Caligaris. Goes to Schatzer. Schatzer just lobs it in the general direction of forwards and loses the ball. I don't really understand that. Short throw from Caligaris into Schatzer's feet, who just first time just volleys it in just up the pitch. You're practically not under any pressure. You're just handing possession to the opposition. Once again, another long ball, this time from Lenzini, is failed, and it falls back to Arsenal. And here is Leah Valti. Valti into Little. Little. McCabe. Back to Caldente. We are seeing hints of this bizarre thing where Calente ends up deeper than McCabe, and Calente then has to cover for McCabe, and it just doesn't really work. I don't like it. I don't like seeing Calente that deep, really. Here's Fox. Fox looking for the long ball. Doesn't manage to see an option though, so she turns back and goes to Williamson. Leah Williamson across to Fox. And Fox will go back to Williamson. These two are enjoying a lovely little game of their own over on this right-hand side. Finally, Williamson will pass to someone other than Emily Fox, and this time it goes back to her goalkeeper, Daphne Van Domselaar. Fired up the pitch by Kim Little, looking for Calente. Runs past her though. Lenzini will go back to Pedro Magnin, who will send that one long. Looking for Bergamaschi. Doesn't quite work out though, and Arsenal will take the throw on. McCabe gets it moving quickly. Long throw to absolutely nobody. And Lenzini now has the ball. Tries to play out though. Pounced on by Frida Marnham. Dealt with well though by Benison. And then she will go long looking for Cantore, who does knock it down to Schatzer, who once again just volleys it. Someone needs to tell Schatzer to stop just volleying the ball up the pitch, because it's not going to work. It's just silly. Juventus are handing possession back to Arsenal by just smashing it up the pitch. No wonder Arsenal enjoyed so much of the ball. Although this time it's Arsenal's turn to go long, and that runs off the end of the field. And I mean, hats off to the quite a large number of Juventus fans who have made the trip to the Emirates tonight. They'll be hoping that their team play much better than they did last Wednesday. But overall, it's been a decent season for Juventus. They can't really complain of what they've seen domestically. I think in Europe, though, they would have hoped for a better performance. Here is Leah Vauti. Looks to find Fox, does find Fox. Fox back into Vauti. Goes back to the fullback, who will find Caitlin Ford. Ford is forced back though. 1-2 between Fox and Vauti as Fox comes inside looking to find an option. Finds space though, so not a bad alternative. Little. Across to Williamson. Williamson pushing on now. Looks to find the ball into Calente. Doesn't quite work though. Juventus have it back. Once again they look to go long, and once again they lose the ball. It's going to be the same story all night for Juventus unless they try a different tactic. Here is Vauti. Pokes it into Calente. Tries to win it back though, but it's robbed off her by Caruso. Here is Cantore. Cantore fighting hard. Flicks it back to Cascarino. But that will be a Juventus free kick. Cantore was being pulled there, I think, by Leah Vauti. Taken quickly by Caruso. Switches the play to Bergamaschi, who will loop the ball in looking for Cantore. That is over her. Will it be kept alive by Kroonbeagle? No, it will not. That will go out for an Arsenal goal kick. Sharp though for Juventus. That's what they've got to do. If they get an opportunity like a free kick, they've got to take it quickly, try and catch Arsenal out. That time didn't quite work out, but it stepped in the right direction for the away side. Got to remember, it took a while for Arsenal to get there first of the evening last week. So we know that Juventus can fight for the majority of the first half. And that is what Schatzer's doing right now, who now flicks the ball. Schatzer's favourite thing to do must be flick the ball out of play. That's all I've seen from Schatzer is either volleying the ball up the field or just leathering it out of play. Either way, not useful. Here's Leah Williamson. Arsenal really enjoying the majority of the ball and really enjoying their football at the moment. Here's Ford. Ford to Marnham. Marnham back to Ford. Good defending again there from Juventus. Forces that ball back to Emily Fox. And once again, forced back one further and goes all the way to Van Domselaar. Juventus are sitting in and doing well to manage Arsenal at the moment. I fear that Juventus cannot do this for 90 minutes without scoring a goal. But who knows, if they can remain compact, if they can keep Arsenal out, then they might get the opportunity to get a goal of their own. Ball is won back though by Vangsgaard, who has now got an opportunity, but is dispossessed by McCabe. Will fall to Caruso, whose pass is blocked by McCabe, and that was a real wasted opportunity for Juventus. McCabe plays it into Alessia Russo. Russo does well to turn Cascarino, and despite the fact that her shirt is getting pulled, referee doesn't care. Fair enough. Here's Emily Fox. Fox will go back to her goalkeeper. Eden, welcome to the stream. Hello, hello. What's the score at first match Juventus home? It was 4-0 Arsenal. So a very, very convincing win last week. Arsenal will be hoping to replicate that. But it's been a pretty even start. I think Arsenal looked a little bit sharper and have looked the better side, have had the majority of the ball. But Juventus are definitely somewhat in the game. Here's Ford. Ford to Vouty. Vouty to Little. And once again, moving it from right to left as the ball now manages to find Katie McCabe, who looks to just rushes a pass inside to Marnham, and it's won back by Lenzini. That ball from Vangsgaard looks to go long. Can't quite find Cantore, and Arsenal have the ball back. Positive stuff, though. I get that Juventus are trying to come forward, and I like the fact they're trying to be positive, but looking for a direct ball isn't quite working at the moment. If they can get the ball in behind, then potentially that's going to work, especially with Vangsgaard dropping in and Cantore going on. I think that can definitely work. But yeah, they've got to try and get it over the top. At the moment, it's just landing short and it's ending up going direct into Cantore. No offence to Cantore, but she is not the strongest or the tallest footballer, especially up against Leah Williamson. This is good football from Arsenal, though. Here is Caurente. Goes down the right-hand side to Russo. Russo looks to go back to Caurente, but that is cut out well by Cascarino. Throw in for Arsenal now. Fox gives it to Vouty. Vouty into Caurente. Caurente and Ford have swapped momentarily. And here is the Arsenal winger on the right-hand side. Goes inside to Emily Fox. Little across to Marnham. Forced backwards though. There's a lot of, I don't know, it feels like Arsenal are very much standing on each other's toes a little bit. Fox is coming inside and kind of occupying the same space as Little and Vouty. Here is Frida Marnham. Puts it out to McCabe, looks to swing it in, sells the dummy, cuts it back to Little. Little to McCabe. McCabe will swing it in, looking for Russo. Big header though from Caligaris, and that will stop it. That will prevent it from reaching Russo, and Krubigel will now look to play out. Caurente there is too forceful on Caruso and draws the foul. But yeah, the problem we've got with Arsenal in the midfield is it's getting very, very cramped up, because what is happening is obviously Fox is coming inside, which is fine, but she's operating the same space as Vouty and Little, because Little can't push on, because as I spoke about in the build-up, that tactical tweak for Juventus means that Frida Marnham is now being marked, so there is always a player on Marnham. Now what's happening is Marnham is now dropping deeper to try and lose her marker, but by doing that, Marnham is now falling into the same space as Little and Vouty. So Little and Vouty then drop, and then everyone ends up in an absolute mess. Speaking of a mess, Little's lost the ball there, and here's Bergamaschi, finds Vangsgaard, but a decent tackle from Ford. Will that be a goal kick or a corner? It will be a corner. That's poor from Arsenal. They've tried to see the ball out there, and I think, I'm trying to work out who it is, sorry. I think, Catley has let the ball run without realising that was going for a corner. But yeah, so Arsenal are going to have to work out what they're going to do, because at the moment, you've got Vouty, Little, Marnham and Fox kind of stood in the same area. And that's not very good for creative purposes or progressing the ball. Corner then to Juventus. Schatzer and Caruso over it. The ball will be swung in by the captain, Caruso. It's not a bad ball in, headed away by Steph Catley. Benison will compete on the edge. It falls to Schatzer, who has a poke towards goal, but that will easily roll into the arms of Daphne Van Domselaar. I think it's the first time Van Domselaar's used her hands tonight to have to claim a ball or to pick something up. It's been a quiet night for both goalkeepers, really, but more so the Arsenal one. That's a lovely ball into Marnham. Marnham's finally found a bit of space far up the pitch. Finds Katie McCabe. McCabe goes back to Caldente. Caldente, lovely ball in between the lines to Vouty. Vouty will reverse it to Marnham, but a big tackle from Schatzer to stop the attack midfielder getting a shot away. And Juventus will now look to come forward themselves. Benison takes it away from McCabe, but loses the ball to Caldente. And Arsenal will have possession back once again. That was good. That was much better from Arsenal. They moved it quickly, and it was a lovely defence-splitting pass from Mariona Caldente. Shame it didn't come off, though. Huge interception. That's a lovely give and go between Marnham and Ford. But again, really good physicality from Kroenbeagel. Stops Ford progressing, but Kroenbeagel's lost it. And here's free to Marnham. And that is just over from... Sorry, it was just over. It has been given a goal kick. Arsenal are furious. They believe it should be a corner. So Kroenbeagel wins the ball off Ford. Looks to play it out. It's pounced on by Marnham, who plays a 1-2 with Russo. And I'm just trying to work out, was this shot saved or did it go over? I mean, that looks saved to me, and I think Pero Magni's got away with one there. Another goal kick given. Probably shouldn't have been a corner, but a chance for Juventus to breathe. Arsenal in the last couple of minutes have just upped the ante. Playing much better, than they're moving the ball a lot quicker. Kroenbeagel into Caruso. Caruso switches it to Bergamaschi. Bergamaschi into Cantore. Cantore looks to backheel it back to her teammate and just doesn't work. Not the right thing to do in that area. But yeah, 25 minutes gone, one shot apiece. And despite the fact that Arsenal have had the majority of the ball, neither side has really done anything in front of goal. That freedom Marnham effort being the first shot of the match for Arsenal. We are 25 minutes in. If you are just tuning in, make sure to get involved. Excuse me. Sorry. Make sure to get involved in the live chat. Let me know what you're thinking. And obviously, have your say in the vote. Have your say in the polling chat. And of course, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We just creeped over 2K a couple days ago. Want to keep progressing. Want to keep pushing. So, would be massively appreciated if you could subscribe. And I'm sure Juventus would massively appreciate if they could turn this throw-in into a goal. It's been dealt with very messily. It's still bouncing around. No one's got control of the ball. There's about 3 players on the floor, but we're playing on because Fox has got the ball. No idea what's just happened. That might be one of the most chaotic throw-ins I've seen in a long time. But nonetheless, we're playing football again. Here's McCabe. Tries to play a lovely 1-2 of Little. Little is pushed over. The referee doesn't agree and will just play on. I think the referee's forgot her whistle tonight. Because I don't think I've seen her blow it. I mean, Little has just been pushed over there with 2 hands. It's not been given. But even to both sides, just generally, the referee is happy to let everything play on. Fair enough. Moment of weirdness, she carries on. Foul, doesn't care. Should give a corner, that's alright. That's a lovely ball to Russo, but that is offside, and the referee will now use her whistle to prevent Russo from running on any further, and Juventus will have an opportunity from a free kick. Was Russo offside? Yes, very much so. Easy decision there for the lineswoman. And Juventus now will once again try and play out. Hasn't worked so far. That is a much better ball out though from Pero Magnin. Finds Bergamaschi, goes into Benison, goes back to the wing back, who tries to hold on the ball, is dispossessed, puts in a rogue tackle on Caldente, and that will be a free kick to Arsenal. Yeah, Bergamaschi just got that a little bit wrong. Flies in on Caldente, doesn't get the ball, brings down the winger, and that is given it. That is a simple free kick. Easy as you like for the referee to give that. Arsenal will then try and move the ball from this free kick. McCabe was going to take it. She faked twice, and now she's running off. And Catley instead will look to move the ball. Williamson into Fox. Fox to Ford. Ford to Vouty. Vouty, a lovely bit of skill to beat Schatzer. Goes into Kim Little. Little finds Caldente in there, who's fighting hard for it, manages to come away with the ball, goes out wide to McCabe. McCabe's got options. What's she going to do? She beats Bergamaschi, puts the ball in, headed away well by Cascarino. Recycled by Leia Vauti. Vauti out to Caldente. Caldente. Will she just dink it in? No, she'll go wider to McCabe. McCabe will swing it in this time, and that will land on the roof of the net and be a goal kick to Juventus. Arsenal starting to build a little bit more with these opportunities. Starting to use their possession to try and find a goal. That cross from McCabe wasn't brilliant, but the right idea. Looking to cause issues, Arsenal, and they're doing so. They've just up that pace in the last 5 minutes, I think. Started moving the ball around with a little bit more zip, playing better football, and starting to open up space in the Juventus backline. Juventus sitting very deep tonight. Fighting away there was Caruso and Catley, and it will result in a Juventus throw-in. And it will now be Lenzini to get the ball moving around. Arsenal, by the way, have completed 245 passes compared to Juventus' 62. Arsenal have had more than 4 times the passes of Juventus. I think, yes, they have. I think that's good maths. But yeah, shows which side is having the ball. The problem is, Arsenal need to be a little bit more dangerous with it. Looking to go direct, looking to go in behind to Alessio Russo, that pass, but dealt with well by Cascarino. Although that is not... The dealt with it well initially. The second phase was poor, took a heavy touch, then just smashes the ball out of play. Not what Cascarino would have planned to do with that football at all. But Arsenal, not incredible passing and possession statistics, but the simple fact of the matter is that both sides have had a shot each. Doesn't matter how much of the ball they've had. Juventus have caused as many issues as Arsenal in front of goal. Here's Little. Little nearly loses out to Caruso, but does really well to battle for it. Schatzer will win it back, but only as far as Caldente. Caldente will go out wider to Katie McCabe. Vauti to McCabe. Inside to Malnum. Lovely little triangle between the three of these players. Now Caldente gets involved. Goes wider still to Marnham. Back to Mariona. McCabe. Lovely little dink pass into Russo. Russo will bring it down. Needs an option. Has to go back to Caldente. Caldente comes inside. Lovely stuff. Drags the defender in. McCabe will put the ball in. Looking for Ford. Doesn't win the header. Caruso will chest it down in her own penalty area and will hook the ball clear for an Arsenal throw. Arsenal looking to cause some problems down that left-hand side. Katie McCabe crossing the ball in is starting to test this Juventus backline. And you get the same feeling that we got the other week, that a goal could potentially be coming for one of these for Arsenal. Sorry, not for one of these two sides. Juventus really have not looked like scoring. Here's Vauti. Vauti to Little. Little over the top to Ford. Was she knocked down? Arsenal want a penalty, and the referee doesn't even look in Ford's direction. Juventus will play on, and Caruso has managed to beat Vauti. Caruso will send it long, looking for Caruso. That's a great ball into Caruso. Caruso on the left-hand side now, taking on Catley. Caruso will cut inside, have a shot, and it's claimed well by Daphne Van Domsela. But Arsenal not happy about the collision in the penalty area at the other end. The ball was put over the top into Ford. Kroonbeagle nudges forward in the back. Was there enough in this for a penalty? It's clumsy. It is clumsy from Kroonbeagle, but I think she gets away with it. Ford they're looking to go to the top again into Ford, but that is claimed well by Pero Magni. I wouldn't say it's not a definite penalty. It's definitely contentious, and it's definitely clumsy from Kroonbeagle, but I don't know. I think you can give that either way, and it can be you can explain your decision. Ball flicked on. Williamson deals well with it under pressure, and Arsenal will look to build once again. But yeah, and I speak about how much of the ball Arsenal have had, how many passes they've made, but Juventus, with that effort from Cantore, they've now had the same amount of shots. They've had more shots than Arsenal. That's the problem for the Gunners at the moment, is that they're just not causing enough issues in the final third of the pitch. But again, plenty of time for them to find a goal. It's not a case of they're missing chances, it is just a case of the fact they aren't creating any, which I think some people will argue is better, some people will argue as worse. That is A poor pass though from Williamson. Pounced on by Benison. And will find Cantore. Cantore will go to Caruso. Caruso will put it into the box. Headed away by Williamson. Only as far as Benison on the edge. She'll go back to Lenzini. Lenzini will swing it into the penalty area. It's not a bad ball. It's headed on by Cantore, but headed wide by the Juventus forward. And the Italians are now starting to cause a few issues of their own for the home team. It's a deep ball floated in by Lenzini. And Cantore, I think, just flicked this on with the top of her head. Yeah. And if she'd left it, I think Caruso potentially could have got on the end of it. So a frustrating one for Juventus. Arsenal have got to be careful. The away side are starting to work their way back into this game, having a couple chances of their own. That's a lovely goal kick from Williamson to find Ford. Ford was being grabbed all the way by Cascarino. Advantage played though as Ford finds Little. Russo, there's space here for Arsenal. Marnham, the pass isn't good enough to Marnham. And that is intercepted by Kroenbeagle. Corner to Arsenal. And Cascarino will see the yellow card for the initial foul on Ford. Ford spins her and Cascarino just keeps on grabbing her. Ford did release the ball in the end, but that's, still a foul. And that will be a yellow card. And Arsenal now with a corner to try and cause an issue. Very difficult, though, to be Cascarino, to be a centre-half. You've got Caitlin Ford running at you for the next 65 minutes and you're on a yellow card. 55 minutes, sorry. Terrible maths. Here's Katie McCabe. Corner for Arsenal. We know that McCabe deliveries can cause a few problems for any side. The fullback will whip the ball in. It's not a bad one. It's not dealt with. It's still bounced out of the penalty area, but that is hacked clear by Bergamashki. And Cantore will chase. And it's been a complete mess by Fox. Eventually, it is sorted out by Vouty. Fox was just cleared it very scruffily, I think. Didn't really catch it properly. Ended up just scuffing it into the air, but dealt with by Lea Vouty. That ball from Caldente goes into Alessia Russo with her back to goal. We'll just hold it up. Ball works its way back to Leah Williamson. Williamson looks to find the switch to the play to Caldente and finds it superbly. Goes inside to McCabe. McCabe back to Caldente. Caldente will find Kim Little. Kim Little will take it on the half turn superbly and find Caitlin Ford, who looks to poke through Frida Marnham, but Cascarino will hook that clear. Another Arsenal corner. Pressure is now building on Juventus, and the Gunners are starting to move this ball around very, very well. Just really good football. It's especially down that left-hand side. With Caldente and McCabe, when they move that ball that bit quicker, they're just causing him a few more issues. Routine here doesn't work. That ball in isn't good enough. McCabe will head it in the general direction of the goal, but Caruso will bring that down and try and play. Schatzer will dink it over to Cantore. Cantore will look to take on Kim Little. Fighting well between the two of them. Little being very physical. The ball, has it left the pitch? Apparently not, and Arsenal will continue to play on. Well dealt with by Kim Little in there. That pass isn't great though, but Caldente does manage to get there. Caldente across to Ford. Ford will look to go down the line to Russo, but Cascarino will sweep up, goes back to Pedro Magnin, and that ball is fired long. Little to Caldente, back to Kim Little. Caldente slots it through to Marnham. Marnham dispossessed well by Schatzer. And that's what I mean about putting another player into the middle of the park. Means that you can allow Schatzer just to sit on Marnham. And then Benison and Caruso can do the running in there. Can cover the ground. And it just takes away that problem that is Frida Marnham. Can cause so many issues for any side. But has been limited so far tonight. And I think that's what's hurting Arsenal. Marnham has had a brilliant season for club and country. But tonight has been reduced to limited moments on the ball. Did have a decent shot. And and to be fair, Marnham has had Arsenal's only shot on the match so far. Didn't obviously go in or on target. So a disappointing half so far for Arsenal in front of goal, but in terms of controlling the game, dictating the tempo, it has been a star for the Gunners. Here is Caldente. Lovely little turn on the ball. Goes wider to Valti, who goes wider to McCabe. Will McCabe swing it in? No, she will return it back to Leia Valti. Here is Caldente. Katie McCabe. Valti. Caldente into Little. Little to Marnham. Marnham to Ford. Ford, not many options on. Cuts inside. Puts the ball in. Headed away easily though by Lenzini. Only as far though as Caldente. Caldente across to Valti. Valti will swing that in. Punch by Pero Magnin. And it's a good punch and it will fall to Caruso. Caruso looks to go down the line and Cantore takes that in her stride superbly but is forced backwards by Emily Fox. Caruso with a lovely little turn though to beat Marnham. Caruso still going forward, smashes it into Kim Little and will take the throw. 5 minutes to go then until half time. No goals so far in this game. But as we said, did take a while to see the breakthrough last week. But Arsenal just have not caused enough issues in front of goal. Not had enough efforts. Need to start testing. They're doing well. They're putting the balls in. I think they're putting pressure on Juventus' backline, but they're not causing any issues for Pero Magnin whatsoever. And that has got to change from an Arsenal point of view. Lovely little turn by Caruso on the ball, but the pass is cut out by Williamson. Ford fighting against Caruso and Kroonbeagle. Still has the ball. That will be an Arsenal throw as well. Really poor from Kroonbeagle and Caruso. 2-on-1 there, and they've managed to lose the throw between them. Excuse me. And Williamson will go back to Daphne van Domselaar. Here is Kim Little. Little across to Fox. Fox into Little again. Another good game from Kim Little. I think she's looked much better in the last couple of weeks. And now she manages to find Fox, who goes on a lovely run inside. But that pass is really poor. Will run past forward and out for a Juventus throw. And again, once Arsenal enter that final third, that final ball just isn't coming off. Juventus with another opportunity from a throw on. Caligaris into Caruso. Back to Caligaris, who will just kick it into the air, and it's cut out by Fox. Valti, though, is dispossessed by Benison. Benison manages to find Cantore. Kroonbeagle, poor touch, pounced on by Marnham, but that will run out for a Juventus throw. Will we get a goal in the last 3 minutes of the first half? I would be surprised. There's been limited goal mouth action. Not a bad game, but not much to write home about in terms of any chances for either side, really. Both sides have had I think even saying a handful would be nice. A very limited chance. Very limited number of chances. That ball is pounced on by Caldente. Goes back to Catley. Can Arsenal bring the ball forwards and try and find a goal with just over 2 minutes to play? Van Domselaar goes into Steph Catley. Catley looks for the long ball, doesn't find it though, and decides to go backwards. Williamson across to Fox. Fox into Ford. Ford goes to Marnham, goes back to Valti. Here's Caitlin Ford. Again, Arsenal moving the ball around the pitch, but the problem is it's on the halfway line, it's too deep. And that is a misplaced pass and pounced on by Vangsgaard, who will go to Kroonbeagle, out wide to Caruso. Caruso across to Caligaris. Caligaris across to Lenzini. Lenzini to Bergamaschi. Bergamaschi to Cantore. Cantore. What can she do with it? Up against McCabe. Looks to beat McCabe. Beats McCabe though. Cross is blocked by Steph Catley. McCabe looks to clear it, and that will be out for an Arsenal throw. Blocked by McCabe's clearance blocked by Bergamaschi. McCabe now looking to go long. McCabe. It's Calente. Calente into Marnham. Marnham into Little. Was Little fouled? Apparently so. Free kick to Arsenal. An opportunity to move it quickly, and McCabe will run onto it and shift it out to Emily Fox. Is this one last chance for Arsenal in this first half? Fox to Ford. Ford back to Fox. Plucked out, knocked out of play, by Kroon Beagle, out for an Arsenal throw. Fox will look to take quickly. Goes back to finding the run of Ford, who goes back to the thrower. Here's Vouty. Vouty forced back by Schatzer. Forced all the way back to Steph Catley. Arsenal having the ball in the final third there and forced all the way back to their own halfway line. And there will be no additional minutes, and that will be it for the first half at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal and Juventus still goalless, and a half that was a little bit soulless. And work to do for both sides in the second 45. Only a couple shots between the two sides. Not many efforts, not any efforts actually, troubling Van Domselaar or Pedro Magnin. And we are yet to find a goal in this game. A game that is pivotal, really, for the second spot in this group. A goal would probably see Arsenal all but through, and a goal for Juventus would, that would throw it wide open with 2 games to go. But yeah, work to be done for both sides in the second half. Hopefully going to provide a little bit more goal mouth action. But if we have a look at the stats, Arsenal having 71% of the ball, but only 1 shot. A half where Arsenal dominated and controlled the possession, but did not touch Juventus in front of goal. 4 shots between the two sides, 3 of them going to the away side, 1 of them going to Arsenal. And that says all you need to know in football. Is that the side with 71% possession have had 1 shot, none on target. The side with 29% of the ball have had 3 shots with 2 on target. And Arsenal are going to have to start doing something with this ball. Because if not, they're going to end up getting caught out. You can have as much possession. You can make 300 odd passes that they have in this game. But if they don't start shooting, if they don't start causing issues for Juventus, then they're not going to win. It's as simple as that. And yeah, 1 shot in 45 minutes when you've had so much of the ball is really poor from Arsenal. They've had the ball, but it's just all been around the halfway line. They haven't come forward with it. They haven't stepped onto Juventus. And while I get that, it's I don't know, I get that they want to remain kind of in control and not risk anything, but when you've got this much of the possession, you have to start to use it. It's as simple as that. And I think that Juventus, you do have to give some credit to Juventus. I think that their setup change, which means that they can kind of limit Freedom Marnham, is absolutely key. We know how good Marnham can be. Has been one of the best players in the UWCL this season, and has played really, really well. But I think that Juventus have done really well to limit her. By having Schatzer just sitting. Just sitting on Marnham means that Marnham can't really get involved, and that's a concern for Arsenal, because I think Marnham has probably been one of the players that has got Arsenal moving, that has managed to help Arsenal be a little bit stronger in the final third. We've said it in numerous times this season, when Marnham gets on the ball, suddenly Russo plays better and Ford plays better, and whoever's on the pitch, their performance is raised when Freedom Marnham plays better. So by Juventus keeping Marnham quiet so far, you're keeping Arsenal quiet eventually. Jack says, Arsenal just not penetrative enough. Does open up questions about Rene Slagers? I think potentially so. We are. This is a. It's a weird problem to have when you've got, because they're not. What we have seen from Arsenal before is they have loads of chances and they just don't score any of them. What we're seeing now is that they're just not creating anything, and that when you take out when you take Marnham out of the game and you limit Caldente to being deeper, then suddenly it causes issues, and that is something that Slagers does need to address. It can't be that if Freedom Marnham's being man-marked, that suddenly you don't create anything. Like that, that's not good enough. You can't get away with that. So I definitely think that there is work to do for Slagers. Yes, they've played well, but as I said, they've played some good sides, but I don't think those good sides have tested them. Juventus, in that first 45, had turned up and they've defended well and they've given Arsenal a game. And suddenly, we're getting to better opposition. Arsenal have looked, they haven't created anything. They've not looked creative at all, Arsenal. And that's a problem. You can't just go, Freedom Arnhem can't get in the game, so we're just going to have one shot in 45 minutes. You can't get away with that. Yichen, well, the stream says, just got to watch the game. What happened to Arsenal? Well, it was a lot of having the ball and not doing anything with it. 71% of the possession for Arsenal, only one shot, none on target. And as I was saying, they just haven't created anything at all. Freedom Arnhem hasn't managed to get on the ball due to the way that Juventus are playing, and Arsenal have got to find a way around that. The Gunners have got to find a way to try and draw Juventus out, to try and open up the gaps in this Juventus system. They did it, and that's all that's happened, is that from last week's game, Juventus have adjusted to the one thing that Arsenal were doing, which was finding Freedom Arnhem in space, and then Marnham was causing issues. What Juventus have done is they've gone, okay, well, what if we take Marnham out of the game, then Arsenal can't create anything. And that's exactly what happened. Juventus have adapted from the other week, whereas Arsenal they've come out tonight and expected to play the same way and to win. And that just isn't going to work. And it isn't working so far. So, yeah, they're in a bit of a tough spot at the moment, are Arsenal. They're going to have to find a way in the second half to try and get past this Juventus backline. And you have to give credit to the away side. It is very difficult after getting battered 4-0 to turn up against the same opposition and to put on a half like that. And they've looked really solid at the back. They've sat deep. They've contained themselves. But I think what the key thing has been is that yes, they've sat deep. Yes, they've sat in quite a low block and put players behind the ball. But when they get the opportunities, Juventus, they are coming forward. They are causing issues for Arsenal. They've had more shots. They've had 2 shots on target. They've forced 2 decent claims out of Van Domslar. Yeah, they weren't great efforts. Yeah, they weren't great shots, but they're on target. That's what matters. It's really, really key to see how Juventus are playing it. To draw similarities a little bit to Liverpool's first half against Man City, in terms of the fact that they're sat so deep, but they are coming forward and they are causing problems. And to be honest, I think Juventus are probably being a little bit more positive than Liverpool were in that game. And it's paying dividends. I think that it's catching Arsenal out. And, into the second half, if nothing changes, I can see Juventus nicking this one. Even though they've only had 29-30% of possession, I can really see them winning this game, and it would be justified. We spoke about in our Chelsea Man City video about how that having all the ball doesn't mean you should win the game, and I think Arsenal have got to be careful that they don't fall a victim of that. Is that yes, they've had all the ball, but do they deserve to win the game? At the moment, no, because they've created absolutely nothing. So a big half to come for Arsenal. I wouldn't expect to see Slagers mix it up, but she might want to. She might want to try and find a way, and maybe that the way to try something new, try and cause problems. If you bring Kafaji on for Marno, I'm not saying Marno's played badly, but you bring Kafaji on, who is... The problem is, it's very hard to say bring Marnham off, because Marnham is a phenomenal player, but it's about finding the space. Arsenal have got to find a way, or they've got to find a player who can find space and create space, because the reason Arsenal won 4-0 last week is because they found the gaps in this Juventus backline and then they exploited them. But at the moment, the gaps aren't opening themselves. Arsenal have got to find a way to try and stretch this Juventus try, to try and open them up and then to try and punish. But a big second half needed. As I said in the build-up, though, I think a draw does favour Arsenal, because Arsenal are 3 points ahead of Juventus. But if Juventus win this game, suddenly they're both level on 6 points going into the last 2 game weeks, both to play Bayern Munich and Vålerenga. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy if for either side if Juventus win this game. And I think, yes, Arsenal have got the buffer, but they still won't want to lose tonight. Losing tonight would be a really poor result, and it would make things very, very difficult. So it is crucial, you feel, that Arsenal win tonight. They need to come out and they need to have a big second 45. But yeah, not bad going so far. Hopefully, though, we see a little bit more action and a few more attempts on goal in the second half. Speaking of attempts on goal, I'm going to check the Barcelona score. It is 3-0 at half-time. I am stunned. Wow. Well done, Barcelona. They're winning again. Another brilliant half from Barcelona. They've scored 19 goals in 4 games in the Champions League. They're on a plus 17 goal difference, and they're still second because they lost to Manchester City. Obviously, Manchester City earlier with a 2-1 victory over Hammarby, and the other game earlier was a 1-1 draw between Vålerenga and Bayern Munich. And that does make things very interesting, because Bayern Munich aren't runaway leaders as yet, and they've still got to play Arsenal and Juventus, 2 very, very tough games. So this group could get very interesting. As it stands, Bayern Munich will be top on 10 points. Arsenal will be 3 points behind them, and Juventus would be 3 points behind Arsenal. So it would still be pretty open if this game was to end a draw. But if Arsenal win tonight, they've got every chance of topping the group. And suddenly, after losing 5-2 in the first match week to Bayern Munich, suddenly everything looks much more positive. And it's one of those where a couple good results could really see them in a phenomenal position. And I think that Bayern Munich will be very frustrated that they drew to Vålerenga. A big point for Vålerenga. It won't mean much in the grand scheme of things, but a big performance, a positive game, and something they can cherish. To take a point off Bayern Munich is a brilliant result for them. So congratulations to Vålerenga, but it does make this group very, very interesting. And I think it's that extra incentive. If Arsenal can win tonight, they go a point behind Bayern Munich. They go 6 points clear of Juventus. And suddenly they're looking to be in a very, very promising position with 2 games to play. But they've got to do the work tonight. They've got 45 minutes to come out and to make a difference. And while we wait for the players to come out, I will remind you once again, if you are tuning in now for the first time and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We hit 2k very recently and we're already eyeing up the next goal. Gonna look to keep progressing. Anyone subscribing is massively appreciated, and hopefully you enjoy the content. We've got a lot of content coming up until the winter break. A brilliant run now up until Christmas with the WSL, with the UWCL. Lots of stuff to come. And obviously going into the new year, we've got Chelsea taking on Arsenal. We've got Arsenal taking on Man City a bit further on. So a lot of football to be played. So yeah, make sure to subscribe and join us for the journey. And I mean, Lena Hurtig has got the right idea. A lovely hot water bottle. I'd love a hot water bottle right now. It is a very, very cold evening. -2 for those who aren't in the UK right now. It is a chilly one. But hopefully the game will spark into life, and we will see some goals in this second half. But yeah, both teams coming out then for the second half, 45 minutes to try and break the deadlock and try and find a way through. It would be a big 3 points. Juventus, you'd feel that they need to win this game to stand a chance of going through to the knockout stages. Both sides, they want to be in those knockouts, but realistically, I'd be surprised if they both got there now. But work to do. Hopefully, we are going to see a very, very good second half. Doesn't look to be any changes for either side. Still waiting for the groundsmen and women to clear the pitch. Don't know what they're doing. Let's get on with it. Lovely jubbly. Put your pitchforks down. Get off. We've got football to be played. Yeah, will we see a goal in this second half? Hopefully so. We don't know what... Arsenal are doing some warm-up. There's still a substitute on the pitch. I don't know what we're waiting for. Everyone, get on the pitch. Let's play football. There you go. There's still groundsmen on the pitch. Someone tell them to get off. Come on. Everybody off. Big 45 then. Arsenal hoping to try and create more, try and look a little bit more dangerous in front of goal than they did in that first half. It will be Vangsgaard for Juventus to get us underway in the second 45. A big moment. Juventus, they can get a win tonight, put themselves right back into contention as we await to get this second half underway. And we are ready to go. We are underway for the last 45 of tonight. Hopefully, we will see a goal or two in this game. That ball is immediately fired long by Juventus and out for... sorry, not out, but towards Van Dobselaar. Easy pickings, and Arsenal will look to play. And again, this is the moment where we see what can Arsenal do. Yes, they're on a brilliant run. Yes, they've scored 12 goals in their last 3 games and they've had all the possession tonight. But can they now cause problems for Juventus in front of goal? That's the thing, they've scored loads of goals recently. But, they've been up... It was a Tottenham defence that have been really poor this season. A Juventus backline that got tore open way too easily. And a Brighton side who made way too many errors when playing out the back and practically handed 3 or 4 goals to Arsenal. So tonight is probably Arsenal's biggest test in a while defensively. It's their biggest test going forwards. Juventus are making it very hard for Arsenal to cut through, making it very difficult for the Gunners to find an opening. The Gunners are going to have to find one themselves, and so far they've failed to do so. Here is Fox. Fox into Ford. Ford kind of boxed into the corner here. Not many places to go. Finds Vauti, who plays a 1-2 with Marnham. Vauti puts it in there. Headed away, though, by Cascarino. Falls to Little, who knocks it on to Vauti. And again, Arsenal forced back to Catley. Here's McCabe, though, looking positive. Kim Little inside to Marnham. And again, we've seen a lot of possession for Arsenal, kind of 20-25 yards out, not finding a way into the penalty area. That's a ball, though, put into the box, but claimed easily by Pero Magnin. And Pero Magnin will look to get this game moving quickly. Rolls it out to Benison, who looks to play it down the line to Cantore, but that is wayward and out for an Arsenal throw. Oh, sorry, no, it took a deflection. It's out for Juventus, sorry. And then we Bergamaschi looking to take it, but she will throw it on to Lenzini. Juventus looking to be positive once again. They had more opportunities in that first 45 than Arsenal. And they've won a free kick here because Katie McCabe has just smashed into somebody. Who's surprised? Not me. Bergamaschi brings the ball down from the throw and McCabe just swings a rogue leg at her and catches her foot. I'm not surprised in the slightest. Ryan Tune, welcome to the stream with the classic high full stop. Welcome, Ryan. I hope you're having a good day. I hope everyone's having a good day. I'll tell you who's not having a good day at the moment is Bergamaschi because she has just been clobbered by Katie McCabe. Free kick though for Juventus. Schatzer out wide to Caruso. Swings it in for Juventus. Headed away only as far as Benison. Although that is pounced on by Ford, but Ford makes a meal of it. Vangsgaard, lovely little bit of skill trying to beat Vouty, but Vouty digs deep and wins the ball back and looks to switch the play to Calente, but that is another poor pass and swept up by Lenzini. I don't think I've watched a 48 minutes of football that has convinced me more that no one's going to score a goal. That ball's sent forward by Cascarino. Vangsgaard flicks it around the corner to Kroonbeagle, but Vangsgaard's offside. Brilliant. And Arsenal will have a free kick. This game is just been one side. Juventus have the ball, they go long, they lose the ball. Arsenal then get the ball back. What Arsenal do is they knock the ball around for a few moments around their own penalty area. Williamson to Catley to Fox to Van Dom, all that. Then they try to move forwards and they kind of get to the edge of Juventus' penalty area and then just stop and lose the ball. And then Juventus win it back, just like what's happened there. And now Juventus will come forward again. Here's Kroonbeagle. Can either side break this kind of rhythm that we've got into where neither side's creating anything? Here's Benison. Juventus are now going to try and enjoy position. Then this is what Juventus need to do. Get on the ball themselves. Too many times they're just firing it long and losing the ball immediately. And that's exactly what they've done again as soon as I say that. Luckily, they've got the ball back. But they just need to relax. Juventus need to relax a little bit. Just take a moment or two on the ball to try and create something. Don't know what's going on over here between Kroonbeagle and Calente, but Caldente's won a throw. Kroonbeagle not happy. It did look to be an Arsenal throw though. And Emily Fox will look to get this throw moving very slowly. Apparently, I thought she ran over to take it quickly, and she's just now not throwing the ball. Eventually, she does throw it to Lea Vouty. Vouty to Fox. Fox to Ford. Back to Lea Vouty. And back to Lea Williamson, who thumps it long. And let me guess, they've lost the ball. Yes, they have. Now it's back to Cascarino, who tries to play a pass, and that's gone out for an Arsenal throw. We got into a rhythm here when I don't know why both sides are just resorting to smashing it out the pitch. They've tried to play football, haven't created anything. So Arsenal are now just going, well, let's just thump it along and see what happens. But now they're getting on the ball. Here's Calente. Calente across to Vouty. Vouty out wide to Emily Fox. Fox will now carry it forward for Arsenal. Plays a 1-2 with Little. Ball into Vouty now, into Little. Turns, loses the ball, dispossessed by Schatzer. And now here come Juventus. Schatzer fires it into Vangsgaard. Vangsgaard to Cantore. Ball's a little bit wide, but Cantore will still get there. Up against Catley. Lips put the ball in, deflected and out for a corner. Juventus dispossessing Kim Little high at the pitch there and nearly causing another issue. The pass was just a little bit too wide from Vangsgaard. Recovered well by Cantore and a corner now to Juventus. Juventus have turned up tonight with a point to prove, and I think they've caught Arsenal out a little bit. Can they try and fashion an opportunity from this corner? Caruso. Caruso and Schatzer over it. You expect Caruso to be the one to put the ball in. It will be Caruso. Swings it in. Not a bad one. Looks for Caligaris. Not dealt with well. Benison pokes it up in the air, and that will go straight into the arms of Van Domselaar. Here is Catley. Catley to Lea Williamson. Emily Fox back to her centre half. Williamson will now come to the left-hand side and use Steph Catley. Catley goes down the line into McCabe. McCabe goes back to Williamson, who goes back to Van Domselaar. Williamson looks to go direct into Little, loses it. Sorry, Vouty loses it again, but it's rebounded well for the Gunners. Calente pokes it into no man's land, and Juventus win the ball. Pero Magni to Lenzini. Lenzini to Caligaris. Pero Magnin. Cascarino now. Going to bring the ball forward. Driving into the space. And Arsenal just backing off her. Cascarino looks to go down the line, but Fox intercepts it. But it will fall nicely for Benison. Goes to Kroonbeagle. Kroonbeagle to Caruso. Caruso looks to fashion an opportunity for shoot. Shut down well, but still holds on to the ball. Cascarino goes to Caligaris. Caligaris turns on the ball. Looks to find a teammate. Manages to find Caruso. Does well in that tight area. Dinks the ball out looking for Cantore. That's a poor pass and Arsenal have it back. Here is Leia Vauti. Vauti to Little. Little to Caldente. Caldente trying to beat Benison. Will beat Benison. Really good stuff from Caldente. Goes wide further to McCabe. McCabe to Marnham. Back to McCabe, who plays a lovely ball into Little. Vauti finds a brilliant pass to Ford. Ford puts it across the box, and how is there no one there for Arsenal? Recycled well by Marnham. Vauti to Little. To McCabe, it's overhit, but McCabe still gets there. Caldente dinks the ball in, looking for Russo, headed away. Only as far as Little. Arsenal keeping Juventus under pressure here. Ball into Ford. Ford versus Lenzini. Ford goes backwards to Caldente. Caldente to Ford. Ford goes to Little. Caldente finds a lovely ball into Marnham. Marnham goes out wide to McCabe. McCabe plays a brilliant ball looking for Little, but cut out well and read well by Caruso, who plays it smartly and wins a throw. But that opportunity there for Arsenal, a good spell, but the initial ball that was played from Caldente into Ford. Ford then drags Pero Magnin across. Ford plays it across goal, and no one's there for Arsenal. The ball just rolls across the goal, the face of goal. No one is there. Big opportunity for Arsenal that. Didn't manage to use it. Williamson to Vauti. Fox goes back to Van Domselaar. And this is what I find bizarre at Arsenal. Is that why would you go back to Van Domselaar when you're under no pressure? Play forward, bring the ball up the pitch. Caldente does well to work it to Little. Little goes into Katie McCabe. McCabe finds the switch to Caitlin Ford. Ford now looks to beat Schatzer, but can't. Here's Marnham. Ford to Fox. Lovely from Fox. Looks to poke it to Ford, and it's another overhit and sloppy pass from Arsenal. They are letting themselves down the final third. They've had one shot in 56 minutes. Not good enough. Not good enough from Arsenal tonight. This is Jack Chance a moment ago. Lovely ball into Ford. Cuts it across goal, and there's not a single red shirt there. They have won it hard at the pitch though. Looking for Russo. That will be given to Cascarino, who's dispossessed by Russo, but the ball does run out, and that will be a Juventus goal kick. Pero Magnin will now take her time. And this has surprised me. Arsenal have looked really, really strong recently. Yeah, we haven't seen this problem emerge for the Gunners in a while in terms of they're just not creating anything. But tonight they've got that problem where they've won it back here. Russo gives it to Vauti. Vauti goes sideways to Little. Too many sideways passes. That can easily go forward. It does go forward from Little. McCabe goes back to Kim Little. Across to Vauti. Vauti to McCabe. Here is Catley now. Caldente plays a lovely one too. McCabe. Caldente puts it back. Marnham's on the edge and Marnham puts it just wide. Big chance. Big chance for Arsenal. And Frida Marnham, who's in brilliant, brilliant form. You'd have expected that to find the back of the net. Lovely give and go between Caldente and Katie McCabe. Marnham, for the first time tonight, finds that space, running in from the edge of the area, is left unmarked and pokes it wide. Best chance of the night for Arsenal. Huge opportunity, put just wide by Frida Marnham. But much better football from the Gunners. Juventus put a ball through there, too much on it, runs through to Van Domselaar. Really good play between Katie McCabe and Mariona Caldente to fashion a really good opportunity that Marnham couldn't quite finish off. A player in her form, you expected that to find the bottom corner. But just past the post. At least some good signs as Yichen, yeah. Much better from the Gunners. And the Emirates has seemed to have sparked into a little bit of life. With some scarf waving going on. That's a long ball punted up to Russo. But that will be swept up by Cascarino, who goes back to Pero Magnin. Juventus got away with one there. That was a bit of a let-off. Intrigued to see how they react from that now. Lenzini to Benison. Back to Lenzini. Lenzini looks to find Vangsgaard, doesn't. Intercepted by Arsenal, and here is Mariona Caldente. Caldente to Vouty. Vouty looks to go one more to Ford, and it is another poor pass from Vouty. The Arsenal pivot has had a really tough game. Vouty and Little, for me, have not played well enough. I sung their praises last week. They were instrumental against Juventus in the game last Wednesday, but tonight it's just not been good enough. Too lazy. Passes are either, just inaccurate passes. They're either overhit or they're underhit. Here is Ford. One of them will score now, and that'll shut me right up. Here is Vouty. Vouty to Little. Little to Caldente. Back to Kim Little. Vouty plays it into Marnham. Marnham to Fox. Fox with a neat little turn inside. Inside to Marnham. Goes back out to Caldente. What can Caldente do with it? She plays a 1-2 of Little. Back to McCabe. Arsenal trying to use momentum, trying to take the positives from that move early on, a moment ago, that probably should have found the back of the net. Still a long way to go in this game. Here is Catley. Ford looks to beat Kroonbeagle, does well, shrugs her off superbly. Ford looking to find Marnham, but that is hacked away by... Sorry, that is hacked away. Who hacked that away in there? Caruso, I think it was. And now out for another Arsenal corner. McCabe will find herself heading over to it. It's got to be a good ball in. And Slagers has got to find something that's going to get her team to find the breakthrough in this game. And that is her having a conversation with Beth Mead. So it looks like Beth Mead will be coming on in a moment for Arsenal. Meanwhile, Katie McCabe will take the corner. Ball swung in, looking for Williamson, who feels like she was found. It's bouncing around. How's it not in the goal? How is it recycled again by Arsenal? How is that ball not in the net? Ball put back in, headed away by Lenzini. Cantore's got it, and I think Juventus just want to get this out, but they're not. And now Schatzer will clear it. The corner was put in. Williamson was tussling with Schatzer at the back post. Manages to flick it goalwards. It bounces twice in the Juventus 6-yard box. It was poked goalwards by an Arsenal shirt, and it was clawed off the line by somebody in a Juventus shirt. An absolute mess. Somehow Arsenal have not scored. And Marnham's pass there is dispossessed by Cascarino. And now Juventus look to go. Here's Kroonbeagle. Bursting down the left-hand side. Fox catches up to her. And the wing-back is now forced to play a sideways pass into Lenzini, who pokes it up in the air. Vangsgaard flicks it on, looking for Cantore. Doesn't quite come off. But what an opportunity for Arsenal. How that ball bounced freely in the Juventus penalty area. It was stabbed goalwards by somebody in an Arsenal shirt, and Pero Magnin managed to just deny it going in. There was 5 bodies on the line for Juventus. Someone in there stopped it going in the net. Arsenal have up their level last 5 minutes, starting to create some decent chances. I know that one was from a corner, but they're starting to have shots on target. They're starting to cause problems for Juventus. Cascarino into Caligaris. Here is Shakhtar. Back to her centre half. Cascarino switches looking for a switch to play the Kroon Beagle. That is a really poor pass. Really poor. And now Caitlin Ford will look to come forward. Ford versus Kroon Beagle. Ford just about holds on to it despite falling over. Here is Leia Valti. Across to Mariona Caldente. There's a switch on if Caldente can find it. And Caldente will eventually find it. Ball goes back though to Mariona Caldente. Goes further wide to Ford. Caitlin Ford. Across to Caldente. Caldente into Alessia Russo. Black says it on the pitch. Russo looks to put the ball in. It's a deflected cross and it is claimed by Pedro Magnin. But we're going to see this chance back from that corner. McCabe swings it in. Williamson heads it across. It bounces free for Caitlin Ford. And it was blocked on the line by Caruso. Incredible scenes. Arsenal should have scored. But that is Arsenal's first shot on target. 3 shots on target in the whole game. 2 for Juventus, 1 for Arsenal. And now double change is coming for both teams. That is going to be Benison replaced by Boateng for Juventus. And there's another change. So Benison is going to be replaced by Boateng. There is then one more change for Juventus, and that is going to see Bergamaschi leave the field, and she will be replaced by, not sure who she'll be replaced by yet. Arsenal also making changes. Caitlin Ford will be replaced by Bethany Mead, and that will be Stina Blacksenius for who I can assume Alessia Russo. No, Freedom Marnham. So Arsenal playing Russo and Blacksenius now as they look to find a goal. But yeah, Lucky, welcome to the stream, saying, hey lad, Arsenal need to take advantage of the Bayern draw and win, could still win the group. Exactly that. And the more worrying thing for Arsenal will be is if they lose tonight, then obviously they are then level with Juventus in a very precarious position. So yeah, a goal would be absolutely crucial. A draw wouldn't be a terrible result. A loss needs to be avoided if you're Arsenal. Here is Katie McCabe. McCabe into Little. Inside to Vauti. And if you're wondering, it was Bergamaschi came off of Bonansé. Here's Katie McCabe. 24 minutes to play. Here is Kim Little. Finds Russo. Russo wider to Caldente. Caldente posts it through to Stina Blacksenius. Blacksenius plays it across the goal, cut out by Cascarino, who will then smash it clear and out for an Arsenal throw. Can the Gunners try and find a way through in this game? Juventus holding firm. A point still gives Juventus a very, very good chance of going through. A win would put these two sides level on points. An Arsenal victory would very much see Arsenal through. Well, not see them through, but it put them in a very, very good position. And as Lucky says, would put them 1 point behind Bayern Munich. And it would give the Gunners a chance to win the group. Here is Mariona Caldente. Caldente to Little. Little goes back out to Caldente on the right hand side. He plays a 1-2 with Fox, pokes it down the line to Russo. Russo holds it up against Cascarino, fires it into the centre half, and that will be a corner. And well, the last corner caused a lot of issues. Arsenal will be hoping they can cause similar problems from this set piece. It will be Katie McCabe to take the corner. Hell of a delivery does Katie McCabe have. Mead is the short option. You'd probably expect the ball, though, to be floated straight into the penalty area and to try and put some pressure onto that Juventus backline in their own 6-yard box. The ball will be swung in by Katie McCabe, and it's not convincing from Pero Magnin and headed over by, I think it was Stina Blackstenius. Pero Magnin comes out to meet it and misses it, and the on-rushing Blackstenius heads it over. And that is one that Pero Magnin will not want to see back. A let-off for the goalkeeper. Comes flying out of the ball, flaps a hand at it, completely misses it, and luckily for her, Blackstenius at the back post heads it wide. Another opportunity for Arsenal, another opportunity not taken. But still, it's only one shot on target in this game. Kroenbeagle's fighting hard in there, and it gets dispossessed eventually by Katie McCabe. McCabe to Vouty. Vouty to Catley. Catley goes out wide to Beth Mead. Mead finds Kim Little. Kim Little will go back to Beth Mead. Lovely ball into the English winger, who goes down the line to Russo, who hasn't held her run. And the offside flag goes up against the England striker. Yeah, just hasn't timed that very well. Yeah, just goes ahead. And Arsenal can't afford errors like that. Still got 20 minutes, but for a side who've only had one shot on target in this game, you feel that they're going to have to magic something up if they want to try and get a goal in this game. Juventus really have not come forward second half, and they've lost the ball now to Mariona Caldente, who plays it through to Blackstenius, and now she's offside. Arsenal need to time these runs. Blackstenius goes too early. Yeah, messy. I mean, Schatzer and Caruso fell over each other and handed the ball to Caldente. Blackstenius, though, makes the run too early. And that'll be our free kick for Juventus. And it's one of those where, sorry, as I was saying before that, Juventus have not had a sniff second half. First half, they did well. They were defensively solid and they still came forward. Second half, Van Domstal must be freezing in that net because she hasn't had to move. A tough, a very, very quiet night for Daphne Van Zonslaat, and now she's called to make a pass, and that is a poor pass, but dealt with well by Steph Catley. Van Domslaat comes out to be joined in possession, misplaces the opportunity, but Catley luckily gets there before Cantore. Arsenal knocking it about pretty well now. Here is Vouty. Vouty to Fox. Here is Mead. Vouty. Jack says boring Arsenal. One shot on target in 71 minutes. Juventus have had 2. There's been 3 shots on target in total in this game. Can Arsenal find something in the last 18 minutes? And Tindy Bois, sorry I got that completely wrong, but welcome to the stream, and you are welcome. Here is Caldente. Caldente to Little. Caldente goes one wider to McCabe. McCabe looks to play to Vouty, dispossessed by Caruso, and apparently that is a foul on Leia Vouty. Caruso not happy. Free kick to Arsenal. It's a soft one. Just slightly pulls Vouty back, and once if you put your hands on a player like that, the referee is always going to give a free kick. McCabe and Mead over it. It's too far out probably to have a shot. You would expect this ball to be put into the penalty area, but before that happens, Juventus are going to make another double change. 2 more changes for the away side as they look to hold on to the point or find a goal of their own. And the first change is going to see Vangsgaard brought off, and she'll be replaced by Girelli. Girelli, Juventus' top goal scorer, I believe, going into this game, or definitely up there. And then we are also going to see Bakary come on. Bakary started the first game, was benched tonight, but now she comes on to replace Cantore. So changes for Juventus in attacking areas, hoping to try and find a goal of their own, but realistically, they're probably going to be more focused on holding on here. Mead will put the ball in, and that hasn't even touched the pitch. It's gone straight off. Not good enough. You need 16 minutes into a game where you've had one shot on target, you get a free kick to cross the ball in, and your cross goes over everybody. Ball put long by Caligaris. Brought down well by Girelli. Finds Caruso. Caruso through the legs of Vauti. Goes to Lenzini. Here's Schatzer in the middle of the park. Goes one wider to Cascarino. Lot of ground to cover, but she will cover it. Long ball, looking for Bakary. Williamson deals with her though, and that will run through to Van Domselaar. McCabe. Here is Steph Catley. Catley to Williamson. Williamson looking for the ball over the top to Mead. Cut out by Cascarino, who decides to do 2 turns on the ball and put herself under a lot of pressure, but Juventus do get out of it, and it's brilliant play from Caruso, who spreads the play to Kroonbeagle. Kroonbeagle back to her captain, Caruso. Caruso to Lenzini. Lenzini will put the ball forwards, looking for Girelli. Headed away by Fox, but only as far as Benanze. Benanze versus Mead. Cuts it back to Caruso, who's got space on the edge, and it's just past the post. Tipped wide by Daphne Van Domselaar. A huge opportunity for Juventus. Brilliant play from Benanze. Caruso just manages to drift off. Picked out by the winger, and that was destined for the bottom corner. But a huge touch from Van Domselaar pokes it wide. Big opportunity for Juventus. A lovely piece of play. Just a long ball from Lenzini. Put Arsenal under pressure. Benanze did well to beat Mead. And a big save from Van Domselaar. The corner was taken short. Ball is whipped in and it's blocked, and it will be out for another corner. Game getting very interesting in the last 15 minutes. Though that double change for Juventus seems to have had the desired impact. And they are providing a little bit of a burst here for the away side as they push to find a goal. Caruso and Benanze over it. They'll go short once again. The ball will be whipped in, but cleared well by Vauti. Recycled by Schatzer. Schatzer loops it in, and that is caught easily by Daphne Van Domselaar, and Arsenal will look to go or not. Van Domselaar will decide to slow it down, despite the fact it's 0-0 with 13 minutes to go. But that's alright. Eventually rolls it out to Katie McCabe. McCabe will look to bring the ball forward for Arsenal. Arsenal are readying a change. It'll be Lena Hurtig to come on when the ball next leaves the field. But the ball is currently in possession of Arsenal with Emily Fox. Fox to Mead. Mead to Russo. Russo now down the right-hand side. Looking to beat Cascarino. Doesn't quite manage it. Is forced to go backwards to Fox. Fox finds Little. Little into Fox again. Lovely piece of play from Russo to beat Benanze. Russo will put the ball in, and it's over everyone. Kroonbeagle, though, doesn't deal with it. Ball will find Caldente. Caldente battling. Does well to get the ball to Vauti, who fizzes it at Little. Little to Fox. Fox to Russo. Arsenal building a really good chance here. Russo battling against Benanze once again. Goes back to Emily Fox, who goes back to Leah Williamson. Forward. Wow. To Mead, who flicks around the corner to absolutely nobody. Cleared, but met by Williamson. Williamson looking for Blackstenius. Blackstenius can't quite get there, and Pero Magdine will come out and collect. 12 minutes to go. No goals to showing this game so far. Both sides have had one big chance in this second half. Marnham put a good opportunity just past the post, and we saw Caruso a few moments ago have a really tidy effort, saved superbly by Van Domselaar. But that has been about it in this second 45. Here's Caldente. Caldente inside to McCabe. McCabe to Little. Little goes to Caldente. Caldente to McCabe. Tries to beat Lenzini. Doesn't manage it. Hooked away by Schatzer and out for an Arsenal throw. Caldente on the ball, but it will be stopped as Arsenal are going to make a change. This will be Lena Hurtig being brought onto the field to replace Alessia Russo. Tough night for Russo. Didn't really get involved. But to be fair, no one in an Arsenal shirt has got involved in an attacking sense. Been really lacklustre in forward areas once again of the Gunners. We're kind of grown accustomed to seeing Arsenal score loads of goals in the last few weeks, but tonight they have all dried up. Ball out wide to Fox. Fox into Mead. Mead battling away, puts the ball in, looking for Blackstenius, who can't quite turn it goalwards. Juventus clear it, but only as far as McCabe, who's dispossessed by Schatzer, but one back by Kim Little. Excuse me. McCabe to Vouty. Fox goes wider to Mead. Mead goes all the way back to Leah Williamson. Ooh. That is a lovely ball. Looking for Fox. Will find Fox. Fox will keep it in as well. Good play from the right back. Gone back to Mead. He goes back to Williamson. Why has that gone back to Williamson? Because Williamson will put it into the box. Hurtig will win the header, and it's just wide from Lena Hurtig. A brilliant ball in from Leah Williamson. Headed just wide by Lena Hurtig. Brilliant run. Coming in off the left-hand side. Catches Kroonbeagle out. Heads it into the side netting. Another good chance for Arsenal. Still not another shot on target. But it's another good chance. Just under 10 minutes to play. Opportunities have come and gone for Arsenal now. Will Juventus get more of their own, or will Arsenal find one that will finally find the back of the net? Van Domselaar under pressure, blocked by Girelli, but they can't quite work it, Juventus. Here is Katie McCabe. McCabe's pass is really poor and intercepted by Schatzer. Caruso goes long, fires it long, and that is a lovely ball into Girelli, but she's offside. Would have been absolutely clear, but the flag goes up. Didn't look close, to be fair. We are going to have a look. Yeah, miles offside. Easy decision. Yichen says, wow. Yeah, it's been one of those games, I think, that you do just have to sit there and go, wow. Nothing's happened. Kroonbeagle has been replaced by Thomas. But yeah, Arsenal, this is a huge missed opportunity if they don't find a goal. Bayern Munich drawing, a chance to go 1 point off top of the group to put yourselves 6 points clear of Juventus. They are currently not taking that opportunity. Here is Caldente, though. Goes to Leah Williamson. Williamson to Beth Mead. Mead to Little. Back to Beth Mead. Comes inside to Caldente. Caldente plays a lovely ball into Blackstenius. Here is Kim Little. Caldente, another brilliant ball played through into Kim Little, who puts it across the box, and Hurtig heads over an empty net. How have Arsenal not scored? Lena Hurtig with an open goal to aim for, heads it over. Brilliant ball from Caldente to find Kim Little. Kim Little dinks it across the penalty area. Pero Magnin commits and misses it. Hurtig has an open goal and heads it over. How have Arsenal not scored? sometimes you just know that they are not destined to score in this game. Could not have asked for a better chance. Missed opportunities will be at the centre of frustrations for Arsenal. First half, they created nothing. Second half, in the last 10-15 minutes, they have had a flurry of chances, and at least one of them should have found the back of the net. Hurtig's had 2. Marnham had an effort. They had Ford's one that was cleared off the line. How have Arsenal not scored? They're still coming forward though. There is still time. Fox into Mead. Mead goes back to Vouty. Vouty to Little. Little to Mead. Arsenal still building. Juventus up against it. Lovely piece of play from Vouty. Little to Caldente. Caldente one more to Hurtig. Hurtig dinks it into the penalty area. Headed away though by Bonance. Only as far as Emily Fox. Fox, Williamson swings it in. Hurtig at the back post. Heads it on, and that will be seen out for a goal kick. My oh my, how have Arsenal not scored a goal? One of those evenings. Juventus have had to ride their luck a little bit in the last 10-15 minutes. Arsenal will be so confused as to how they haven't scored a goal. 5 to play. Ball pumped long by Juventus. Header won by McCabe. Little flicks it on. Caldente, though, that's really poor. And Schatzer will switch the play to Bonance. Brings it down well. Bonance versus Fox. Will go down the line into Bakari. Bakari's up against Williamson now. Bakari back to Bonance. Lovely feet. Goes back to Bakari. Bonance will put the ball into the penalty area. Headed away though by Kim Little. Williamson will smash it long and smash it out for a Juventus throw. Juventus lack a little bit of luck. Lack a bit of just put it in the goal. At this point, you know, Ford had one from 2 yards out that was off the line. Hurtig's just headed it over the bar from open goal. Just stick it in the net. Arsenal just have been so wasteful. These, you know, they're not difficult opportunities. You know, the ball was lovely into... And McKay's been dispossessed. A shot there was taken from range, blocked. Is that a foul? Yes, no, it isn't. That will be an Arsenal free kick instead. Somehow. Very messy. I don't quite know what on earth just happened. I was talking. Bonance falls into Vouty. Juventus felt it was their free kick. Referee gives it the other way. I don't really know how that's an art. It's not a free kick to either side, really. It's just a collision. But yeah, Arsenal will just be frustrated. So bizarre. They are not difficult opportunities to put in the net. They should have scored in this game. Juventus have done well defensively, but they have ridden their luck in the last few moments. They've had a couple of opportunities of their own. But Arsenal really should be winning this game. A draw isn't a bad result, but they will feel that they will feel like they've missed an opportunity here. 3 minutes plus additional time. Is there still a goal in this game? We'll go on then. Predictions for everyone. If you are tuning in, let me know in the chat. Will there be a goal in this game? And if there is going to be a goal, if there is a goal, who will score it? We've got 3 minutes left. Will Arsenal score? Will Juventus score? Will nobody score? Let me know in the chat. Will we get a goal in this game? Kim Little is now being subbed off. Not a great game from Little. And she will now be replaced by Rosa Kafaji. Arsenal going for the game now. Bringing on Kafaji and looking to try and find a breakthrough in the last 2 minutes. Here is Catley. Vouty is okay to continue. And we're back underway. Katie McCabe. Sitting on the ball. Arsenal there's 2 minutes left in this game, and I'm watching Van Domselaar and Katie McCabe have their own little passing match. Here's Steph Catley. Back to Van Domselaar. Van Domselaar will now go long. Looking for Mead, but they lose the ball. Smashed long by Lenzini, won back by Vauti. Here is Caldente. Caldente into Fox. Fox back to Caldente. Caldente's pass is intercepted by Shatter, but not one back. Mead looks to fire it into Blackstenius. Big tackle from Cascarino. Blackstenius will still get there. How's it on the goal? It is in the goal. Arsenal have found the breakthrough. And Lena Hurtig, who has missed a few opportunities tonight, comes on and scores the goal. And with a minute to go, Arsenal have finally found the back of the net. It's a piece of poor defending from Juventus, but it's well worked by Blackstenius, and it is pounced on by Lena Hurtig. Lovely ball from Mead into Blackstenius. Cascarino really should not be beaten to that ball. And for some reason, Lenzini tries to take a touch on her own goal line to clear the ball. I can't understand it, but Hurtig pounces on it and pokes it home. And with a minute to go, we finally have a goal in this game. Finally. And it's a big goal. And it's a goal that will send Arsenal a point behind Bayern Munich and 6 points clear of Juventus in a very positive position. There is still time in this game though. We are going to see an additional... We don't know. Anyway, here's Caruso. Thomas, 4 minutes to be played. Hurting of a huge tackle. Juventus throw. Wow, this is getting very tasty now. We finally have a goal. I'm just happy to see a goal. We had to wait 89 minutes, but we've got one. And it's a big goal for the Gunners. Lenzini, though, will loop it into the area. Caught by Van Domselaar. Claimed well. You said, well, what a comeback from Hurtig. Yeah, great to see Hurtig score. She's missed 2 absolute sitters tonight as well. So, you know, good for her to get on the score sheet and right that wrong. But, I mean, I don't know what Lenzini's thinking. The ball goes across the box from Blackstenius, and Lenzini gets there first, and you're a yard off your own goal line, and rather than just clear the ball, Lenzini decides to take a touch. It is so confusing. Why would you take a touch on your own goal line? And because she takes a touch, Hurtig then has time to pounce on the ball. I don't know why you would control the football on your own goal line and then expect no one to kick it in. But alas, Juventus have been punished. Arsenal have found a goal. Wasn't a brilliant goal, but it's in the back of the net. And that's all that matters for the Gunners. Here is Caligaris. Finds Cascarino, who looks to fire it long, but Mead blocks it. And Cascarino smashes it out for a throw. I've never known a football team to be 1-0 down with 2 minutes to go and your centre-half just smashes the ball out of play. Juventus have done well tonight. They've played so much better than they did last week, but some things still just confuse me. Just decision-making has cost them. Ball back with McCabe. McCabe will send it long, cut out by Lenzini. Schatz has dispossessed, and now Arsenal have got an overload here. Gafargi slips it through to Blackstenius. It should be 2, but it's a good save from Pero Magnin, and then it's cleared away by Cascarino. Just about dealing with it, Juventus. Arsenal could have killed the game off there. Here's Callante, sorry. Lena Hurtig. Complete miscommunication between her and Kafaji, and the pass is nowhere near anyone, and Juventus have it back. And Arsenal are working it well in this corner. Here is Caldente. Just over a minute to play. Caldente across to Catley. Catley to Williamson. To Ford. Caldente. Not Ford, sorry, Catley. Don't know why Ford bit centre half. Williamson sends it long. Looking for Blackstenius. Flicked on by Blackstenius into the path of Lena Hurtig. Hurtig will go back to Katie McCabe. McCabe will go to Caldente. Plays it inside to Kafaji. Tackled well by Schatzer. Caruso. Thomas will send it forwards for Juventus. Intercepted by Caldente, who will take her time on the ball and go back to Leovalti, who will find Catley. Catley to McCabe. McCabe sends it through to Kafaji. Kafaji will sit on it in the corner. Did that ball run out? Yes, it did. And it will be a Juventus goal kick. But with 10 seconds to go, seems futile. This was Batsena's chance a moment ago. Played through. Good save from Pero Magnini, and Cascarino gets there just before the run of Mead. That ball is sent long. Hurtig wins the header, but that is it. Arsenal will take a huge 3 points to keep themselves second in the group, to put themselves a point off Bayern Munich, and to increase the gap between them and Juventus to 6 points. 2 wins over the Italian league leaders. 2 big results. And a night that would have been very frustrating for fans and players and management and anyone watching the game. But it was Lena Hurtig with a minute to play that found the back of the net after what felt like Arsenal were never going to score in this game. Missed chance after chance in that second half, but finally found the back of the net with a minute to play. And a hard-fought game. Juventus played very, very well, but they now find themselves with a lot of work to do if they want to have any chance of getting out the group. But a big goal from Hurtig gives Arsenal a huge opportunity, not only to get through to the knockouts, but to top this group. But yeah, a tough night, a cold night is absolutely freezing. I am very, very cold, so I am going to get going. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in tonight. I will say, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Would be massively appreciated. Keep tuning into the live streams. A lot are coming. We've got Chelsea-Manchester United on Sunday. Huge game, the rearranged fixture. If Chelsea, game in hand for both sides. If Chelsea win, they can go 5 points clear at the top of the table. If Man United win, A, that would be an absolute miracle. And B, that would mean that Chelsea would finally lose a game of football, which would be, again, a miracle. But yeah, join us for that one. That will be a very, very good game of football, hopefully, on Sunday. But yeah, another really good week of UWCL action. The next week will be the games on the 11th and the 12th of December. That will be match week 5. But yeah, good night. Make sure to join us on Sunday for Chelsea Man United. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button. Do all the lovely things. But yeah, that is where I'm going to end today because I'm very cold. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and we will see you next time.